Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Agent P. I use she, they pronouns, and I'll be DMing today's game, which is the Hidden Isle, which is a tarot-based TTRPG set on an island, the island of Dioscoria. And right now, the time period it's set in is the 1600s, where our players are agents of Dioscoria who kind of help out in whatever way they can on this island. Uh, a big thank you to Steve for letting me run this game, and it's always such a pleasure working with them. And I'll take it to the players to introduce themselves and their characters, starting with Kiernan.
So my name is Kieran. I use they, them pronouns, and today I'm going to be playing Isabel, who uses she, her, and uses the illusionist playbook. She's a selfish person trying not to be selfish anymore. And I'll move on to whoever's next.
We'll go to Sid.
Ooh, okay, that's me. Hello, party people. I go by Sid, she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Tabitha, who goes by she, her pronouns, and it's also the party's prowler. If she had a business card, because I don't know if they were invented yet, it would say ex-magician turned reverse grave robber.
Amazing. Callum, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Callum. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Branwyn, who uses she, her pronouns. I went through like 4 names, so I had to remember the one I actually chose for. She is the party's champion. She's 75 and holds a big shield. And she may or may not be from Wales.
I love Bradwin.
That's me.
Okay. Going into Anna, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Anna or Riley. I don't really have a preference. I use them pronouns, and I'm playing Liesken, she, her pronouns, who is the party's occultist, and is from the Netherlands, or what would be the Netherlands. I don't know in this time area whereabouts we were in our organization, but like that area, essentially.
Okay, and last but not least, Percival.
Hi everyone, I am Abhilasha or Percival, pronouns he, she, they, and I am playing the party's hunter, Shikha, her, pronoun she, her. Shikha's business card, to borrow a phrase, the front half would be none of your business, and at the back half would be likes romance novels. She is currently she has golden round glasses, very professor like, wears very comfy sweaters, and usually tends to stick to herself. However, it's a little difficult not to notice her when you do notice her, because she does have the most she has eyes of fire that somehow look like they can freeze you in place, just by the way she looks at you like you are a bug under a microscope.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. So you are all agents of Dioscoria, and one random holiday morning, the council is kind of like gathering anyone they can to investigate this, because again it is a holiday today, and you 5 are the ones who are available, and they ask you to investigate some concerns of a Dioscorian citizen down at the harbor. They give you her name. Her name is Morella. Anyone who inhabits the harbor quite frequently would know her as the Copper Queen. She is one of the first people you see when coming into Dioscoria. She has this big storefront for exchanging currency, any like a starter for Dioscoria, get people settled in quickly and as easily as possible. When the five of you got to Morella's shop, you see Morella, this woman who's dressed in a very business attire for that age, very prim and proper, and she looks at you kind of up and down, sees that you guys are in a group, and says, "Are you the Dioscori? Are you the agents that the council has spoken to about the issue that I had raised?"
Yeah, that
Yes.
would be yes.
Right.
But first of all, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Nothing has
Do I
happened to
need
me.
to get you anything? Anything to calm you down?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you for asking.
You sure? I've got blankets. I can go and make you a cup of tea or something.
I can do the same for you.
Calm
Please.
yourself. Could you please let the queen speak?
Right. I had told the council that I had seen something suspicious, and I wasn't particularly sure if it was something to be worried about, and they said they would send some people, so I might as well tell you. I have been seeing a suspicious looking person around the harbor a few times. But here's the thing. Every time I would see them, they were wearing they looked different, but it was the same person. They had some sort of glamour magic that they would cast, and they appeared different. So I was able to tell that it was the same person. The first time I had seen them, I thought they were a merchant because they had just come off of one of the ships in the harbor. And I had seen them, and usually when people come off a ship and into the harbor, they usually stop by my store, either for money or any other things that they might need. But this one didn't, so I kept an eye on them, and they seemed to disappear behind a pillar, and they looked like a guard when they reappeared. So I didn't know what to make of that.
You said that you could see through the glamour magic every time. Do you know what they look like underneath the glamour magic? Or just that they were using it?
I just know that they were using it.
So at this point, Isabel, who is quite tall, leaning to one side on a walking stick with a little illustration of a fox's head carved into the handle, is going to test this and create their own glamour. And they will appear now as a small boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with a shoulder crutch under the left shoulder, and is try and analyze how Murella reacts to this.
She sees you and says, "I can see what you did. I am trained in this, so no one suspicious gets through me, at least in the harbor. You can I know it's you."
You said
Glamour
you've seen
drops.
them for a couple of days. you've talked about the first time you saw them. When was the most recent time you saw them?
So after that, after the day I saw them first, I had seen them at the end of the harbor, and you see her kind of point to the end where there are some like dilapidated buildings, a lot of warehouses, and she continues saying they were stumbling through the harbor almost. They seemed sick, and they disappeared into one of those buildings, and I didn't see them after that for nearly 2 days. They appeared as a student though. Maybe I thought maybe they were just ill from studying.
Do you
Then
know?
Well,
recent
at the
time,
very least, someone's in need of our help.
that might be right. And the most recent time, I had seen them running across the plaza, and this time they looked like one of the archivists that are responsible for keeping all of Dioscoria's knowledge. And I followed them because they seemed to be in a hurry. And I saw them go into the archive building. And she turns and you see this big like drum like building, which you know to be the archives, which houses all of Dioscoria's knowledge on, magic, in the island itself, the people. And Morella says, I followed them till the archives, and I saw them enter through one of the back doors. And I couldn't go any further because I'm not an archivist.
You mentioned
Fun.
that the second time you saw this stranger, they appeared as a student.
Yes.
Was it obvious to you in which group they were apprenticed or under whom they were studying?
I assume they were studying illusion magic because of the glamour. So I thought maybe they were trying to prank someone or get into some sort of hijinks. Maybe that's why they look so ill, because they overworked themselves.
And was it a glamour for students, or was that their true appearance?
They still had the glamour magic.
Thank you, dear.
A stranger
Well, I
to the
think
island.
we
Possibly.
don't know that.
The disguise
That's not.
read as convenient to me. They change as per what will help this particular person slip in and out of places. A student is one of many. An archivist to get into the building. Someone who looks like a merchant at the docks, again one of many. This person intends to disappear uh, from crowded places where he is visible until he gets. Did you see him, madam? Did you see him again? This person again after the archivist sighting?
Well, no, I hadn't. And also, the only reason I hadn't alerted anyone earlier was because it didn't seem it didn't seem too suspicious. But now that I've seen them so many times and with the glamour magic in so many different ways, I can't help but think something might be going on.
Perhaps you're right, and it's simply a really long form prank, or an elaborate game. We can't assume the worst before we know. And if they were stumbling around, perhaps they are in need of assistance. and I believe it is our role as agents to go and assist them.
I wanted to ask above table, do we have we heard of anything in the past, in this time that's passed, that this person has been seen, that's like been weird, or like reports of something, being off, or
No other suspicious reports have been reported to the council. Only Morella's just seen this person go into like weird places, and that's pretty much all you have. And that's also why like Morella, she would absolutely hear if something was up, especially in the harbor, first point of contact. So she hadn't really heard anything from anyone else, which is why she was like, should I say what I saw or not?
right.
But she does seem thankful that someone at least is trying to investigate this odd behavior that she saw.
All right, I think Liskin would then ask, like, do you recall where you've last seen this person? Like most recent, or today, maybe even?
I haven't seen them today. Yesterday was when I saw them at the archives. But then again, I did see them duck into one of the old warehouses down at the end of the harbor. So maybe, I don't know.
If they had unglamoured after leaving the archivists, you wouldn't have recognised them because they weren't using a glamour.
That's right. I wouldn't have.
Which means they may have gone back to their hiding place in the warehouse district.
Oh, you're right. I wouldn't have even noticed them because they weren't using magic.
Exactly. I should
Well-
use this trick. Seems like a very good idea.
Very good work. Should we split ourselves up into the warehouse district and the archive, or should we visit all the first archive just to see if anything has been stolen, and then go back to confront this person at the warehouse district? The warehouse district is fairly large. It would be better to find out if there's anything amiss from the archive building first.
We shouldn't assume that they've done anything wrong. I say that we all together go to the warehouse district and explore the larger area, because it is so large that it will take all 5 of us working together to investigate. And let's not try and raise any alarms about wild accusations of things being taken without permission. They could have simply borrowed something, or perhaps wanted to explore.
Granted, however, I am fairly well known in the archive building. I do like to read there. That there are some very interesting texts. I'm sure some of you might find something interesting in there to read, or at least pretend to find something interesting you want to read, or just look at the pretty pictures. One of the other things. I think it might be best. The warehouse district will take us a long time, and if 5 agents, we are fairly visible. If 5 people are actively going around asking for this person, they are going to run. This clearly, whether it's a prank or not, this person does not want to be found. So how about we maybe suss out motives first, or end goal possibly, and then we shall go back and speak to this person. They may be in trouble, they may be not, but if they're in trouble, it would be best we find out what kind of trouble, rather than spew unnecessary accusations.
You see that Bronwyn, who's about 7 foot, with long, deep brown hair that's tied into like a ponytail. She does have Celtic kind of markings on her skin in like a deep purple. Kind of, despite her stature and her age, kind of hides behind her shield as this conversation happened.
You have to also understand like the height difference, because Shikha is barely cracking 5'5" and is dressed in the most grandfather sweater and jeans, and is like has like the very nerdy professor like gold glasses with the like chain and everything. It's just like, and is just currently just like very calmly explaining, and is just looking at Brandon. Just you can imagine the vision of just like, just we have to be logical about this.
I think your idea is good. I would like to go to the warehouse district if that's okay.
I understand. However, we should not split. It would be best you do not go alone, Branwyn. You are perfectly capable of taking care of yourself, but we do need you in case we run into trouble.
Yes. Oh, okay.
What are Tabitha, Isabel, and Leeskin thinking?
I think Liskin's just sort of Liskin's not a decision maker per se, so she's just sort of like facially like a ping pong match, like watching what the other two are doing. And just standing there, sort of like trying to think what like every time someone makes a point, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. Oh, that's a good point." But I do think if this discussion goes on for a while, about like where to go, I mean, I would like last the others would. I think it would make sense the others chime in first, and then I'll say what I would want to do if no one can come up to a consensus. So I don't know what the Tabitha and Isabel are saying.
Isabel is just enjoying this scene of conflict because this is better than any theatre. And I imagine this kind of exchange has happened quite a few times when we've been out together before, and every time it's just so enjoyable to see these two go at it, especially with that height difference. So she has no opinions on what we should do. She just wants this to go on for as long as possible in order to enjoy the spectacle.
I think Tabitha's kind of like tuned out after hearing the two different options. She's just kind of like personally weighing in her head. She's like, okay, the warehouse has like some pretty cool things, right? They wouldn't mind if like a couple of things went missing here or there. Like, I'm sure it's fine. Same with like an archive, right? Like, no one's gonna like miss 2, 3, 5, 10 pages from like a random book. It's fine. She's just trying to figure out which is the most thrilling to kind of pilfer from at this time.
Yeah, I think after like a minute or two, Liskin sort of goes off a little bit to the side, and everyone has probably seen her do this a million times. But she starts to with some kind of soul, like sprinkle a circle on the ground, and makes draws the Ansu's rune in the center, and starts basically a ritual. So it's like she goes to sit in the middle of it, draws a little Gebu rune in front, and puts this ritual supplies feel like a small cup of made, I never know how to pronounce it, in front of it, and then lastly like a little pinprick of blood on the rune, and starts to meditate to try and contact Wodan, to try and get some guidance on what would be the best option.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
there we go.
After seeing you prick your finger, immediately goes into a bag to find a bandage.
I feel like this is like a common occurrence every single time this happens. Just...
You like hear your deity in your head, and it's like, what is it? What do you need?
I think we're trying to figure out what would be the best starting point for this investigation. I would like to humbly request your guidance, your wisdom.
Well, the question is, would you like to know more about the person or what they're after?
Oh,
one will lead you one place, the other will lead you to the other. It is up for you to decide.
See, sort of like as she's meditating, the others could see a sort of frown in this like. She's not a very good decision maker, so she's just like she just said it like, oh shit. What they're after.
Then you must head to the building on the hill.
On the hill. Right. Right. Thank you. And we'll after like I think it like takes like this like 10 to 15 minutes we'll sort of come out of it again and starts like cleaning up the little circle, there's no like random circle like left behind. We'll walk up to Branwyn like her finger just like holding out.
I couldn't find a bandage. I must have forgot to pack them today. So her hair's like tied with a ribbon constantly, so it's like it's intertwined with hair ribbon all the way down. So pulls a little bit of the ribbon out of the bottom of her hair and starts to wrap it around your finger.
Thank you. The building up the hill is the answer.
Are you sure there's no other way of doing this?
Not that I know. Well, maybe there might be, but I kind of
do you think they'd accept wine instead of blood?
It
looks the same.
I don't think it works like that.
And it's more tasty.
Well, I've got the maid already, as an offering.
I mean, you do.
It's just a little drop.
It's not meant, though, is it?
Agents, what decision are we making? I have been told I'm supposed to be leaving it up to the team. In all those HR sessions we had to go through. Or was it just me?
What is HR?
So the building up the hill, which one would that be? That would be
the archives.
Archives. So okay. Well, I was told the archives, so maybe.
Let's all go to the archives, please.
And just before we leave, Isabel would just speak to Mirella and could you give me a description of the face of the archivist glamour, please?
They looked like a regular old archivist. They had short, dark hair and bright brown eyes, light brown eyes. And they were in the uniform, and yeah, I couldn't really discern anything. I was following them from behind.
Okay, thank you, dear.
And before all of you leave, Morella will give you pouches of money for the mission that's ahead of you.
Oh, thank you, love.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, y'all are headed to the archive. Okay. So the archive is this big drum-like circular structure that you see on the top of the hill, and it overlooks pretty much the entire harbor and city that is Dioscoria. Um, as you approach the, archive, I would say, Shika, you notice that it's very quiet today. Which you're not used to. You're used to there being so many people researching, talking, debating, running around with scrolls, someone tripping and dropping the scrolls. But today's much quieter, and in the back of your head, you realize, okay, today's a holiday. Not a lot of people will be here. Um, you all head inside, and when you do, you'll see rows and rows and rows of shelves housing scrolls, and Shika, you recognize, you know this place almost like the back of your hand. But for everyone else, it's very silent. Even on the holiday, it's insanely silent, and it almost seems as if you are sneaking into a place you shouldn't be. But it's not like that, of course.
Well, I think we should be fine doing. Could somebody please check and find the logs for the archives, please? I think that is somewhere we could start with. Branwyn, if would you like to check the logs?
This is an archive.
Shika, I'm gonna say once you say that out loud, you'll hear like footsteps approaching, and this scrawny old archivist with like graying hair and like a mustache and like a beard that's like very thin and long comes up to you guys. It's like, oh, can I help you, agents?
Hello, sir. I'm Sally. I'm a frequent. I I'm a member of this library. I was wondering if we're here investigating a matter of a possible imposter who may have entered into the archives, and I was wondering if you could possibly uh, uh, help us by showing your logs for the last week or so. Like Shika has, like Shika usually like stands as tall to her height and is very calm and everything, but like in front of the archivist, she's suddenly taken on this persona of like, this very like sweet, cutesy little, or at what she thinks is sweet and cutesy little, like, oh, hi, I'm just a little nerd. Can you please help me?
The
Branwyn has taken out a notebook, which she keeps everyone's names in, and scratches out Shinkawa's name and replaces it with Sally, because she just thinks that she's got it wrong.
Oh goodness. The archivist looks at you, Shika, and is like, "Oh, yes, of course. Follow me." And he heads over to uh, a little separate section, almost like a room, and you see there are like books stacked and stacked and stacked, and there's a book open on a table. And he says, well, these are the records that we keep for entry, and we haven't noticed anything odd, but you are more than welcome to check, agents.
Thank you, sir. You are most kind. Thank you so much. I was wondering if I could talk to you. Could you also possibly uh, show me and show me the roster of your other archivists? we may think that they might be able to help us as well, just so that we can, cross check, because we think that the archivist uh, might have some knowledge they could share with us.
Well, you see, since today is a holiday, most of the archivists, you will find them at the coffee house, not far from here. It's called the thinking, the thinking, the thoughtful being. Yes.
Can I ask
Mhm.
where the back entrance leads to?
Well, there are many entrances around the archive because easy to run around and do your research. Um, there are quite a few back doors. Uh, they would be closer to the restricted section, though. But
There is a restricted section.
yes, of course.
Who is it restricted to?
Well, only senior archivists are able to go to the restricted section.
How long do you have to be an archivist to be a senior archivist? Or is it based on how old the senior archivist is?
It is.
So if I join as an archivist today, would I be a senior archivist because I'm 75?
Seniority is based on the information you gather and put out. And
It's
less
based on
about.
experience, Brandon. It's based on experience.
Well, I have lots of experience. I've been alive for 75 years.
Experience in archiving and information gathering. And Brandon,
I have this notebook which I keep all of my information in. Look, I've even had to
Brandon, I've
update your
told you
name to
about them.
Sally. I'm so sorry. I've been getting it wrong for so many years.
Shikha says in a language. Says in a completely different language, something along the lines of "Oh, great Satan, save me."
The archivist looks at you, Branwen, and says, "Well, if you think that someone was trying to get into the restricted section, I would be able to lead you there to investigate."
That would be fantastic, sir.
Yes, please.
He leads you guys away from the records, and you see like the back doors around the sides of the wall, and all of you know to some extent that the archive has a very tight security system, wherein, and if at all someone steals something, especially from the restricted section, the doors all are barred and locked in a matter of seconds. And it's very foolproof. So like everyone is contained, and searches can be then done to find anyone who's trying to steal anything. The head archivist leads you to the restricted section, and you see this big like iron, like metallic gate. It's just one gate going in and out, but it's the entrance and the exit. And inside you see like series of narrow halls, and these shelves kind of house like the most precious Dioscorian knowledge. And this heavy barred iron gate is the only way in, only way out.
Branwyn turns to Tabitha. Tabitha,
Hi.
You're very accomplished at taking things from places.
That's right.
How would you take something from here?
With my hands.
But the security gate, it's got magic in it.
Yep. So here's my thing. And Tabitha's going to go ahead and reach into her back pocket. Do you see this funky little green liquid I have here?
Yes.
pretty-
Is it a new
it's
type
pretty-
of tea?
Oh, Brandon, I wouldn't drink this. So this is a really cool thing called metal eating acid. So if a door is in the way, all you gotta do is just kind of pour it on there. I carve out a little hole, just walk away unnoticed, and continue on my merry little way. Do you want a demonstration?
Is it hungry right now? Have some metal for it.
I don't think it's
Tabitha-
hungry right now.
Tabitha, Shikha kind of whispers in Tabitha's ear. Tabitha, could you please not? I like this place. I would not get kicked out. I understand, and but as you can see, none of all the bars seem intact. So clearly, they didn't use acid.
That is so true. You are so observant. I can't.
Yeah. They haven't done it yet.
Having heard all this, Isabel is going to reach inside the shawl that she has over her shoulders and take out what looks like a Venetian carnival mask. So, just solid color, black. Puts it on, covers from the top of the forehead down, just above the bottom of the nose. And what this is this is a magical mask, a mask of, I think, something like proof seeing. Let me just take the actual name. A mask of true sight. So this is just to see, does this gate have any form of illusion on it? Has in fact the metal been eaten away, but there's been an illusion placed to make it look like it hasn't?
So you're looking for an illusion?
Yes, anything which
Is this an ability?
which isn't true. This is just something I'm taking from the item True Sight Mask. So I would assume that would be something to do with the channel skill.
Okay,
But it comes from an
so
item rather than an ability. Yes.
it's from the item. All right. So you don't see any sort of magic that has been cast on the gate itself. Um, um,
How do multiple people doing the same check work in this? Is that a thing, or should we avoid trying to do the same thing as someone
one
else?
person can investigate, and if the card doesn't match, like if like let's say we both play our cards and you want an advantage, if someone wants to help, they can use their fortune card to give you an up, or you can use your own.
Okay.
One of my skills is study. Can I use that, or I do have to use the cards?
So study is a skill, right? You'd still have to pull cards for that.
Okay.
Would you like to use that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many skill points do you have in study?
I have 3.
3? Pull 3 cards from the pip deck and lay them on the table. Don't tap them. Don't show them.
Okay.
From the pips deck.
Oh, Pip's deck. Okay, so what do I just click them, or do I drag them?
You drag it and you place it on the table.
Okay.
On the table, not on your...
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
One sec. Just put that on the table. I'll just recall and shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Would you like to use any of your ideals, burdens, vices, or virtues?
Ideals, vices, virtues. Well, my ideal is knowledge above all kind of thing.
Okay. Would you like to use that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put one back into the deck, and the 2 cards that you would get right now, add a +3 to the number value.
+3 to the number value. Okay.
So you can take these 2 cards into your hand now.
Okay.
Drag them into your little box and see what you get, and whatever number you get, add a +3. And I'm also gonna draw.
Wait, for both.
Yeah,
Oh.
for both.
Okay.
For both. And study is which suit?
Study is 1 second.
Swords.
Study is swords. It's the swords one.
So if you put down a swords card, that automatically wins.
I don't know if I have. I don't know the exact thing of. Okay, wait. I have to check symbol, right? I'll just check symbols. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I don't exact. I don't.
I think with this deck, it's also the imagery. So, like, if someone has a sword, it's probably swords. If there's
Yeah.
lots of containers or vases or cups, it's probably cups.
Points, like
is
a
what I've picked up on
jar.
so far.
Yeah.
And if it has like wooden staffs, those are wands.
Yeah, I have. Okay, I do have a swords, but not from the cards I picked. I have lots of sword-looking things in one of the cards I picked before the game.
So that's your fortune card.
Okay.
So you can, so once you play your challenge card, out of the 2 that you just drew, once you play that, you can use your fortune card to either change the suit or add the number.
I am okay.
So, have you selected a card that you would like to play first from the 2 that you drew?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and play that card, and I'll play mine.
Okay.
So that is the 8 of Wands, and I have the 5 of Pentacles. You would still succeed in this. It would be complicated, but you would still succeed. All right, I'm gonna put these 2 in the corner here. Okay. So you investigate the gate, and you find traces of some sort of powder on the hinges. And you don't seem to know what the powder is, but maybe if you ask the archivist, he might know.
Sir, could you please come here? I found something unusual on the hinges that I think that I would like your expertise on.
The man like walks back because he kept going forward. And he also examines the powder, and he's like, oh no. This seems to be some sort of metal dissolving powder. And he kind of clocks the vial on Tabitha. Like, kind of looks at the vial, looks at the powder, looks back at Tabitha, and is like, were you trying to get into the restricted section?
I have never come here in my life. I don't even know how to read. Tabitha is lying through her teeth.
Shikha is looking at Tabitha like, what the fuck? and she kind of points like, and she kind of gives like a, you didn't, right?
I solemnly swear on everything that I own and everything I've ever stolen that I have never come to this place until literally this exact moment in time.
You have stolen before? Out.
Sir, we are agents. We do tend to we require expertise of different varieties. It's
expertise in
having stolen before does not mean that you are not entitled to knowledge. How dare you?
Yeah.
And let the archivist.
Agents, I respect your investigation, but any person who has any intention of stealing from this wonderful, wonderful establishment has no place here.
Tabitha, do you swear on everything that you have stolen and that you own that you do not intend to steal anything from this archive, or have any interest in anything that's in this archive?
I do not trust her word.
Do you, sir? I have been a member of this establishment for a long time. We are just here to investigate the complaint of someone else who may be impersonating one of your own archivists.
Well, we've checked the records, haven't we? No one has been impersonated. Now please leave. And he
How
starts
would you know,
escorting you
sir?
out.
I
Yes.
think Branwyn at this point stands firm, kind of goes out of the sheepish position that she's been in this whole time, pulls out the seal of Discoria,
Yes.
and says, "We are agents of Discoria. We are trying to help you. I trust these people with my life and with the lives of everyone on this isle and the information and things that we detect here. I will not have this slander be thrown about at my companions." I'd like to do convince, please.
Okay. How many skill points do you have in convince?
2.
So draw 3 cards.
Let me find the right tab.
Draw 3 and put them on the table itself. And then you can decide if you would like to use an ideal or burden.
I would quite like to use one of my vices here, actually.
What's your vice that you like to use?
I think that the Branwyn doesn't actually know any of these people, but is trying to make friends because she's lonely. And that's her vice, is that she's lonely. She'll do anything to try and get people on her side. So even though, like, so far, I'm so sorry. How do you say Shikha? Name, sorry, hasn't been very nice to Bronwyn this entire time. It's like, no, I'm going to stand up for everyone here because deep down she's really lonely and needs the company. So yes, I'm going to use the vice.
All right, in that case, you can
lonely.
take a card and then take all of them into your hand.
Cool.
Also, Abhilasha, if the other card that you drew for the challenge, can you just put that on the table? Yeah, you can discard that for now. Convince is, I need to write that, I shouldn't.
Yeah. I have lots of swords. The question is, am I actually good at convincing people or not? That's the real question. We're going to go for...
Oh, so you automatically win. All the other cards you can put on the table or put in the discard pile in the corner. All right. The head archivist kind of, the height and the authority kind of gets to him, and he kind of cowers a little, and he says, "I understand you have an investigation, But after finding that kind of powder, I believe I'll have to look into someone repairing it before allowing anyone into the restricted section. I can allow you to investigate every other place in the archive except that. As of
I can repair that now. Don't bother. And Isabel walks over to this gate, and this one is actually an ability, and they are going to upon this hinge with the powder, they're going to look at it, focus on it, take in the color, take in the smell, and then the ability they're using is called Unravel, which allows me to reverse the fate of a nearby object, undoing the work that led to its present state, such as untying shoelaces. If it took more than a few seconds to do this, take one physical harm. So what I'm asking for is to undo the work which has caused the hinges to corrode through this powder.
Okay, yeah. You take harm for that.
Okay. In fact, 1 or 2. It's 1 if it's more than a few seconds, or 2 if it's more than a few hours.
Just 1.
Just 1. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, you're able to undo the corrosion, but the head archivist still insists on having someone check it out. But still profusely thanks you. It's like, thank you so much, but I will still need to have it looked at by someone else.
Well, perhaps as payment, you can let us into this restricted section.
All right, and he leads you into the restricted section.
So the powder was residue from someone having used metal-eating acid or something similar.
So
it wasn't.
The archivist said it was some sort of alchemical powder, which on ignition would have melted the metal into quicksilver, and the hinges wouldn't have worked.
So it hadn't been used yet.
It hadn't been used yet, but there was still a little bit of a reaction.
Can I have alchemy powders myself. Do I know like if these powders are difficult to come by? Or if just anyone can just like get them?
They are a little difficult to come by because they're a little powerful in terms of getting into places, especially in Diascoria. You know that it could be sold in like black markets outside of Diascoria, but not on the island itself.
And on the island itself, where would I have, for example, gotten mine?
As an agent, you would have gotten it as the council will give you.
Okay.
This person will return.
I think same with Tabitha. Tabitha also has like a metal eating agent.
This person is going to return. I don't know if repairing the hinges for the archivist may have gotten us back some good graces. However, this person will be back, and they might notice that the residue is no longer there.
Well, we could always place something which looks but does not act as this residue.
Good idea. Do we have similar colored powder, Tabitha?
I don't think I have powder, but I think someone used salt earlier. Maybe that we can use that on the hinges?
Leeskin?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at something else on my sheet. One sec.
Well,
yeah, would I know? I'm just trying to figure out how much I know about these powders. But yeah, go ahead.
Tabitha asked if Leeskin could use the salt that she
Oh, the
used.
salt. Right.
Ori-
Sorry. Sorry. I was looking else on my sheet because I was thinking about something else. Yeah, we'll pull out some of the salt. Well, wait. Before I do that, would that cause a reaction? Because we don't want to like make it any worse.
Salt won't cause a reaction on metal.
Okay. I'll hand it over to Tabitha.
Tabitha will lightly season the hinges with salt.
Tabitha,
Branwyn
I
takes out.
never say this, but I beg of you.
Branwyn takes out a piece of money from the bag they were given earlier and hands it to. I'm really bad with names today. Sorry, Leiskin.
Liesken.
Leishkin
There you
hands
go.
a gold piece over to Lynchkin and goes, "For the salt, love."
Oh, it's not that expensive, but thanks. Just sort of like takes it, like very confused. I mean, I hope it looks at Tabitha. Don't use all of it, please.
I've only lightly seasoned. I think there's still a little bit left. You can take it back. Here you go.
Just takes it.
Do you know what goes good with salt? Is a little bit of time, and you meant the door.
The head archivist leads you guys into the restricted section, and yeah, you're free to do what you would like to do here.
Okay, I would
What
like
kind
to.
of things are restricted?
Well, usually secrets about the island, and yeah, mostly all the secrets. How to get in, how to get out. Quite hard to get out without knowing.
So, I think an idea comes to Branwyn's mind. Does not believe that she's clever enough to figure anything out, so assumes that she's wrong, and just sits down and waits for everyone else to figure it out.
I think I would like to just look around and just use my eyeballs essentially to try and see if like anything's off. Just walking around slowly and like just taking.
I would also like to do the same. Like, I want to gather. I want to see if I've never been in the restricted section before. Because of all things in the world, this is the part. This she doesn't believe that she's yet worthy of the restricted section, so she's having a great time. She's having a great time just being here, and the others have never seen her this excited before. Of just like looking at the, oh my god, oh this book, oh this is interesting.
Can I use study for that or something?
Yeah, if you're
Oh,
specifically looking for something, yeah, I would say, yeah, Lise can go for it. How many skill points do you have in study?
One.
One.
So I
you
draw
take
2 cards, right?
I'd also like to use study. Going to use study again.
If Liskin doesn't make their her challenge, then you can use a fortune card if it helps. Study is
Oh, actually, I would like to use one of my virtues, which is observant.
okay. So you can put away one of the cards, and
Is that for virtue? Because it's on my sheet. It just says +2 to card rolls, and ideal is -1 challenge card.
no, virtue would also give you
Oh, okay.
a -1 card. They both work the same.
Okay. Let me put it 1 card back.
And this will give you a +3 to the numerical value.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Branwyn has taken out a small spyglass and handed it to you, hoping it will help.
Okay, just like sort of awkwardly takes it. Like, thanks.
Ready to play your card?
Yeah, I just have to use the challenge card, right? I cannot. Did you say
After
could-
playing your card, if you want to end it using a fortune card that you have, or wait for
Okay.
someone to use their fortune
Okay.
card, if it may help, then
Yeah.
that can happen. But that's once
Okay,
you play.
I'll play my card then. So that'll be 6. Oh, you've got a swords. I don't have a swords.
Anyone want to help?
Uh,
I don't have swords either.
I do have a swords. I can help.
Oh, this is kind of perfect then.
I hope it is a swords. Those are a lot of swords.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's the
I
nice.
feel like there's a high possibility. I'm like
Yeah.
99.99999% sure.
Those are
I'm
swords.
sorry.
Yeah.
What happened? I was busy looking at salt donation and completely missed. Okay, yeah, you win. Leeskin, you you can as you walk through the halls of the restricted area, you are able to see, like, you're able to even like read like the topics, like how to get into Diascoria, like entry and then exit spells, and there's one section at the very back, seemingly away from like you know, getting like seemingly away from like the entrance where someone would see it first. An area that says the magic of the mist of Diascoria.
The magic. Okay, wait. You said of the mist.
Yes.
Magic of the.
I have to remind myself that this is dysphoria because I keep hearing it as dysphoria, and I think it's why.
So that was a book you said, right?
Yeah, it was a section. It's a section of
Section. Oh, a section of books. Okay.
and you
Right.
kind of gather that it's about so there's like a veil of mist around Diascoria that keeps it hidden from the outside world. And you kind of gather that it's how that mist is formed, maintained, what to do if it's compromised, kind of everything, information about that.
Okay. Does it look like any books are missing? Like there's a visible gap in between, like a row of
You
books.
don't see anything missing. You just it kind of like stands out to you, the topic itself, but nothing in the restricted area is missing.
Okay.
Nothing seems out of place. Dust placements are perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask about as
Nothing
well.
moved.
Okay, but I am sort of drawn to that. Idea. I think. Would it be? I don't know if it would be plausible to think. I'm trying to see if this is too far ahead. That this person, because I'm sort of drawn to this, that this person that we're looking for might want to mess with the mist. I don't know what I'm trying to. Do I have the thing? One sec. No, I'd have to do a ritual to get more insight. I think I'll just turn to the others and sort of say like, I don't really know why, but I'm kind of drawn to this section. I don't know what it means, but maybe this person has been here or has something to do with it.
I understand. This is a powerful book to be looking at.
I think.
What I'm not personally sure about is, do they seek to expose the island by taking away the magic, or are they looking for some loophole that will allow them to come back here after they've stolen something? I'm not entirely sure. There are multiple possibilities.
We have a harbour in Dysphoria. And we have traders, so we do send people out to go and trade, and they come back What are like the rules around that?
Everyone has a license, and they can only take like licensed food and spices, and nothing magical should be crossing the mist veil.
But there are like scheduled times that you can get a boat, leave the island, and come back.
Yes.
So if someone wanted to smuggle it out, they would be able to if they just pretended to be a trader.
Sorry, say again?
If someone wanted to smuggle this book out,
Uh-huh.
they could do so by pretending to be a trader.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
All right. Sorry. No, you go ahead, Kieran.
Well, I was going to just turn to the archivist and how does the security magic work? Is it triggered when someone takes something off the shelf without being allowed to, or is it triggered when someone tries to go through the gate back out?
It's triggered by going through the gate. What happens is the doors, when the alarm is triggered, in case of an emergency, all doors shut tight. And you if like when you guys were passing by, you see that like on top of like the doors hanging above were like these giant slabs of rock that have like a pulley system to them, and if triggered it will like crash in front of the door, and everyone would be locked in at that point, and officials will enter through the main entrance.
Where does the light come from in the building? Is it all by candlelight, or are there any big windows?
There are big windows on top the ceiling.
Do they have slabs that cover them up when the alarm goes off?
Well, judging by the height, no one has tried to. We haven't had instances of anyone trying to come in from there or go out from there. Brad was like that.
I think as I'm looking at this section, I'm I think going to glance up and be like, I need more. Just can you guide me? And I will play a vision card.
Oh yes.
So how does that work?
You place it on the table. Which I don't even know which card that you have.
Yes, I know it's the moon.
Okay. So you play this card. I want to spice this up.
I'd recommend thyme or one of the other spices that people like on this island. I have very plain tastes. I'll level with you. I'm very plain when it comes to food. I've tried eating more complicated dishes, but
So when you play the moon, I would say everyone gets this vision. This card in general talks about intuitions and having profound visions of what is going to happen, and also psychic abilities. So everyone, what you all see is the you're running. All of you, you're running. You're running, there's something heavy in your hands, and you look down and it's a stack of books. The sky is darker, and you are running for the harbor. There are sirens blaring in the distance, and commotion in the city, but that doesn't seem to bother you. Your only sight is the harbor. And as it, like, the vision goes towards the harbor, it kind of zooms into, like, a ship, and then it kind of like pans into the sky and the vision ends.
When it panned into the sky, could we see the moon?
Yes. It's the last
And what
thing
kind
you
of
see when the vision ends.
and what phase was the moon in? Were we able to notice that?
Not really.
Okay.
I would say it doesn't matter in this context.
Okay.
Right. I think.
So the metal-
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
So the metal gate would when the alarm goes off, the metal gate would close, and then all the external doors to the restricted sections have slabs that come down in front of them. Am I understanding this correctly? Great. So we've noticed that someone tried to sabotage the metal gate. Now, if it was Branwyn doing this heist, not that she would ever steal anything, she would just barrel through one of the windows. But is assuming that that's not going to be what everyone else thinks to do. So we haven't seen if someone's tried to sabotage the rock collapsing mechanic. So while everyone is doing this, I think Branwyn has wandered off and is now looking at all of the slabs, trying to find if that they notice anything. I mean, it's not really going to change our information, but it would just be nice to know if they were going to use the window or not. I think that's her objective. Is she's like, are they going to use the window or not? Because if they're going to use the window, they're going to need a bandage, maybe more.
All right. What skill would you like to use to investigate the back doors?
Because there's a lot of them, and actually, no one else is helping me here. I'm going to channel to try and summon someone to help me.
Oh, okay.
Does that work?
So what skill would be using?
Channel.
Channel. So you're trying to use magic to find which door has been compromised. All right, yeah.
I think I'm going to try and summon a spirit who can get up higher than I can.
Oh, yeah.
To look at them all.
So
it's kind of what I'm thinking.
So this is to see if that summoning would work. I will say that if you can successfully summon this, the person that they will be able to do what you tell them to do, but summoning is the challenge here.
Yes. Okay, cool.
How many?
Yeah. I only have one.
So you can draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
If you would like to use an ideal or burden, you can draw an extra or put back a card.
Because I wandered off to start this, can I argue that my aimless burden works here?
You know what? Yeah, it for sure does.
Okay.
Extra card.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I realised that it's very...
Yeah, and then you can put all those into your hand. And for this, the trump suit is wands, of course.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, well, you automatically win. You can place all your other cards that you drew into the discard pile, and it will tell you what you find. Well, what you unleash first.
So, yeah, I just kind of stand quietly to myself for a second, close my eyes, and call upon my magical source, which is Hinleva, or in English, nightmares. And I guess my spirit might take the form of a slightly ghostly woman.
All right, yeah. You see the spirit kind of go from door to door to door and kind of stop at a door. And It stops there and then it disappears. And when you go to the door, you see that the pulley system up above has been sabotaged. And the door itself might not close when triggered, and on top of that, the slab would fall down when the emergency is triggered.
Archivist! Archivist! Archivist!
Branwyn. Shikha looks back and it's like, see,
I was waiting for it. I was like, Brandon's gonna think about it and scream. Yes, I love it. The archivist, you hear him running through the empty archives, and he comes to you and he's like, "What is it? What happened?"
It's okay. Calm down. Take a breath. I'm sorry to have worried you and made you run. The police system on this door has been sabotaged.
And the archivist kind of looks up and like notices it as well. He's like, "Oh no! I must find the handyman. He knows how to fix it, and he fixes it very well. No one else on Diascoria can fix this as well as he can."
Why don't you stay here and tell me where to find the handyman? I could use one of those around at the moment.
The maintenance workers, again, holiday, not here. They might be at the coffee house. I would say at this point, everyone else also catches up.
Isabel is strongly beginning to distrust this archivist, and is upon hearing this, she's a little bit conflicted, because having heard that it's that this police system has been sabotaged, she really wants to take the opportunity to go back and take one of the books on the mist and take it out with her, because that's related to her source of magic, which is her, a sort of sea fog. And but instead, what she's going to do is to, at least for now, before coming into view, is going to put on yet another glamour, which will cause one physical harm to me because the essence is thinning as I do more and more glamours, and is going to appear as someone looking like an archivist with short dark hair and light brown eyes, and see whether this archivist reacts in an unusual way to seeing this person in the forbidden section, in the restricted section.
Well, the archivist is not currently in the restricted section. He's with Branwyn.
Oh, I thought Branwyn was still in the restricted section. Sorry.
No. Branwyn has gone up to investigate the doors and then yelled, so archivist is out there.
Yes, okay. In that case, yes, they will in fact have gone through the section on the mists and is going to take down just any old book, and is going to attempt to obscure the fact they've done this by creating a mirage of this book on the shelf. And they're going to
challenge that.
Sorry?
Whether
Could you
you're
repeat that,
able...
please?
Sorry, yeah.
Also, I would like you to repeat what you said, because I didn't quite hear it.
No. Continue what you're trying to do, and then I will say what I need to say.
Okay, so they are going to attempt to take this book, and they're going to try to cover the tracks slightly by creating this mirage. They're going to call upon the her, and it's something they don't expect to work because this is a magical library, but I think I'm never going to get a better chance than this. And the library itself is slightly compromised here, and given this could potentially jeopardize us, I will accept vetoes from other players if you don't want this to happen. But we're going to attempt to hide this book under their shawl and just stroll out of the gate.
The alarms go off.
Lovely.
All the slabs fall down, doors close, except the one that Branwyn and the head archivist are standing in front of. And
in response to that moment, seeing that I'm going to get my expandable shield out and cover the door.
I am
taking
going.
the place of the slab.
I immediately take out my. Wait, let me check. I take out my blade and I immediately am like on the lookout.
all of you see Isabel stroll out of the restricted section.
Isabel?
Will take the book out of the shawl and saying, just testing a hypothesis. I wasn't going to take it. She absolutely was going to take it, but I'm not just testing a hypothesis.
The archivist would look at Bronwyn and say, I have respected your wishes.
I think you're fair. I think you're fairer than you're right. I think we should absolutely get out of here. That was
section, and this is what the agents of Dioscoria do.
I cannot. I absolutely cannot defend those actions.
You said that you would do anything for these people. How can you not defend their actions right now?
I barely know them. No one ever asks me out on missions. They only did it today because it was a holiday and everyone else was busy.
No. Out of the one door that is sabotaged that I will fix. And he kind of points out, and as will you guys be leaving, or is anyone else putting up a fight?
Liskin is at this point getting nervous and starting to leave.
Because Isabel has clearly done something risky, but seems like she's going to be looking at Isabel, and Isabel seems to like know something or has tested theory. Shikha is going to weigh her options and is going to be, okay, I think Isabel knows all we can from this area. Let's just go to the warehouse, and she's just going to quietly just like slink up. I think we should all go now. Thank you for your time, Archivist. I would apologize, but as you see, there are drastic things, even unusual things we are to do in service of this island. Thank you.
You are welcome back in this establishment, madam.
We'll talk about that later. And Shikha just like glares at the archivist, just straight up, like, try and stop me.
The old man just looks at you with disappointment.
Shikha has been given that look for a long time. She does not care. You are not stopping me from getting in here, even if I have to stab you to do it.
Would you like to keep my shield as a temporary security measure before
Brandwyn, walk away.
Please take your shield with you. The protection of the citizens is much more important. I will find the maintenance team and alert them to this, and hopefully we'll get this fixed very quickly.
Takes out the pouch of money, hands it over. A donation to the archive.
The head archivist is hesitant to accept it, but it's like, thank you. I will make sure it goes into good use.
Shikha, as they're walking out, whispers to Tabitha and Isabel, I will poison that man's drink if I have to, if he tries and stops me from getting back in here.
Isabel, as you walk out, the archivist kind of stops you for a second and like holds out his hand. Please give us the book back.
Okay. I would like to invoke a skill as an ability here, if that's okay. I would like to attempt to using the channel. What do we think, actually, other players? Am I better to give
Just
back a
leave the
facsimile of this book? Just leave the book.
Leave the book! Leave the book! Please!
Oh,
Everyone
give
else
back
is
the
gonna
book.
hate us if we're not taking the book.
Reluctantly give back the book.
Head archivist takes it, says, "Thank you. No, please leave."
I think this can be also looking at it. So about that coffee house, should we?
Oh, by the way, before Isabel hands the book, Shikha is going to accidentally drop a few drops of her poison, which is in her inventory, on the book.
So you.
What
So,
everyone against this fucking archivist?
okay, yeah, you can do that. This is ingestible poison, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it does nothing to the archivist as he touches the book. All of you are outside the archive. The door kind of shuts behind you, and you know that the head archivist will now go to, or will at least send someone to the coffee house to bring the maintenance workers to start on the repairs almost immediately. So, yeah.
Since we're outside the archive, can Tabitha do a little bit of scouting and see where the window in the restricted area would be on the outside and see if there's like a trellis or something that like anyone could climb to access that window?
No one can access the restricted section from the outside. There are not even windows on the ceiling above the restricted section. The restricted section is mainly lit by lanterns.
Interesting.
And
Where
the
is
big window is on top of the building.
Sorry, yeah, the windows are on the ceiling. There are no windows on the ceiling above the restricted section.
I am also curious. So the coffee house I was talking about, was that like? Didn't they say it was right like next to the archive, or is that further away?
It's close by. It's a little walk, like a 5-minute walk.
wall. Because we could find. We could find. I think there's 2 people there. There were more archivists there.
The archivists on their days off would usually congregate there. Yes.
And the handyman was there.
Yes.
Okay.
When you say holiday, is this like a day off in a normal week, or is it a special event?
It's like a special event.
Is it a Sunday, or is this okay? What's the event?
What's the event?
Diasporia Foundation Day.
Okay.
It's not specified, so I think this is the best.
Would it be in this like on this holiday? Are a lot of places like closed, or like is a lot of people like just taking time off work? Is it? I think what I'm trying to figure out is if it's like if there's more like a casual, carefree vibe about this day that people might not be paying attention to things as much.
Yes, it is very much like a jolly day. People have off work. Shops close for the afternoon onwards. Like after lunch, places are pretty much closed. The market near the harbor becomes a little more bustly for shops that open specific for like the holiday. but other establishments kind of close down early. And it's nearing noon.
Right.
Branwyn, very disappointed in all of you, turns. Well, I don't know what to say to any of you. Utterly disrespectful.
What did I do?
Isabel, what did you find?
Oh, it doesn't matter what they found. What they found was all of us in trouble. We are meant to be representations of the council. We are meant to protect this place and its people and its knowledge. And what did we do? We tried to steal from it.
Branwyn is I think this is something we have gone through again and again, but if I must remind you, what was our original mission for being there? Was it to please them? Was it to
It was
be
to find
nice?
information, not take books out of the library, especially books that are forbidden knowledge for good reason. I think that from this point forth, I am taking executive action. We will now head to the docks to find this person in hopes that we can convince them not to attempt the heist. And I will hear no different. Not after the stunt that you pulled. Both of you, I saw what you pulled on that little book. Thank God it's ingestible.
Yes, which is why I put it on the book. So the next time they, who knows, maybe are turning pages and accidentally lick it, well, we know how that works, don't we?
I should lock you in a cage.
You can try.
Wait, why are we probably poisoning people? Why I don't.
I don't know why you try and poison a harmless old man for protecting and doing his job.
Nobody forbids me from going into places I like. That archive has some of the oldest romance novels this island has ever seen. Do you think I'm going to allow some measly old man who, by the way, is clearly knows we are here on business and are trying to help him, did not even let us explain and kept trying to keep us out? Nobody keeps us
He
out
obviously
when we...
saw someone.
Brandon, we're here to do a job. What I do in my own personal time for my own personal hobbies are quite frankly none of your business.
Like, as this conversation's going
you know
on,
what I see?
Lucian is trying to walk off towards the dogs. It's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna continue.
I see someone who is not trying to give information, not trying to compute you. You are a junior archivist, not a senior archivist, which is who's allowed in the restricted section. And you will remain junior as long as you are selfish like this. Now, I don't like being mean to people, so I am going to walk away and calm down, because it is not very nice for any of us. She wanders off to the dog.
You know, I have been told multiple times by our higher ups, by our bosses, that I should try and be kinder. I should try and be nice to Brandon especially. Why does Brandon make it so difficult?
She has a lot of age, and sometimes with age comes stress, and with stress comes taking it out on other people. And it so happens for today that's you. I absolutely agree with you putting that poison on the book. You should not be punished for someone else's actions. But if it helps, that archivist is up to something. He was angling to get us out long before I took that book.
True.
So, I would say we can run one down, maybe get her a nice cup of tea, and then we ask someone to keep an eye on that window. Make sure the handyman actually does what the handyman's meant to do and doesn't just make it look like it's been fixed.
I agree that smart plan. I think we shall go have a cup of tea now. Possibly the old woman will calm down by then.
Okay, just to clarify, Leeskin and Branwen, you guys are headed to the docks, to the harbor.
Yep.
Tabitha, are you going with Leeskin and Branwen or staying with Isabel and Shika?
Tabitha will stay with Isabel and Shika, but Tabitha will go up to Shika and say, I like your gumption. Let me know if you're like fully committed to like poison this guy. I can make it look like an accident.
Hold that note. If this archivist is an imposter or somebody suspicious, then quite frankly, I had the authority to rid myself of my problem. If not, we shall discuss later.
Sounds good.
I am going to quickly tell you what happens when you guys go to the coffee house and then go to Leeskin and Bradman. At the coffee house, you meet some archivists who are there getting coffee, and through like the rumor or like murmurs and whatnot, you hear that they heard of like the alarms going off in the archive, and you do hear some people saying, oh yes, we saw this junior archivist come in and take the maintenance men who were also with them. This is what you hear at the coffee house. You're more than welcome to stay there for some time though. Bran, Wynn, and Leeskin, you head back to the harbor. It's still bustling. And where are you headed exactly?
I mean, what's there? So I'm trying to figure out, like.
So you have merchants and dock workers who are currently milling about. There is the warehouses and that abandoned tavern that Morella saw the student go in at the far end of the harbor.
Probably the abandoned tavern sounds like a good place to investigate.
Well, before we do that, I'm going to try and get in contact with some of my spirits.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
like to play a vision card, please.
Oh yes, go for it. The Queen of Pentacles. So
Is it completely useless in this current situation?
it's not. You get a vision of a smoky den that smells of alcohol, and you hear laughter and the jingling of coins and tables with cards and dice, and you hear this big loud bolstering laughter of someone in the room. The room itself is dimly lit, and it seems to be some sort of a gambling den. And as the sights and smells of the place that you've been transported to kind of fade out, the salt of the sea kind of kicks in again, and you see the harbor once again. I'm gonna say both of you see this vision, by the way.
I'm sorry if that was distressing. My nightmares, they're not. I realise that not everyone is used to having them.
Oh no, I'm used to having nightmares. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Where do we? So, where is that? Is that the tavern?
I think if you were going to have a gambling den, you'd probably put it in the tavern, or at least round the back, next door.
Right. Shall we go there? Like, ask questionably.
So you guys would want to head to the gambling den?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You head to the gambling den, and you see outside. It's it's called the Lady Luck Gambling House. And inside, as you enter, again, very low light. It's a smoky gambling den, and you see people already playing, betting on games of cards, games of dice, or backgammon. There's a large central table that has a group card game running, and as you enter, there's you enter and you kind of mill about for a second, and right after you come inside, another person enters. He's a very stocky man who has official clothes on, and seems to be in a very jolly mood, and he seats himself at the central table and takes a hand of cards.
Are you any good at these card games?
No, I don't play them a lot, so no. Are you?
I have had lots of friends and social events. So, yes, I am great at the card games.
Oh, well, then maybe you should go and try and join one and see if we can get some information.
Could you keep an eye out for who our suspect might be? And, let's not try and scare them because they might be needing some help. We don't know their circumstances.
Oh, I don't think I could be scary if I tried. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out. Yeah.
Here's my spyglass.
Oh, right. It takes it again. Thanks.
Wish me luck, hey?
Good luck.
Sits down at the table, shuffles over to the big table in the middle. Very, very. Hold on. Starts the shuffle, pauses, turns around. I did give all my money to the archivist.
Oh, just gives you her pouch with money.
Shuffles on over, holding a little purse, and sits at the table.
You sit at the table, and the dealer, takes how much ever money you would give him and deals you a hand of cards. And you sit next to this man, who's kind of chuckling to himself and blushing. I think that's where we'll take our break. So we have the group split. Some at the coffee house, some at the gambling house. Let's
always
see.
split the party.
I'm terrified. But let's see what shenanigans they get up to after the break. See y'all in about 10-ish minutes. But yes, stick around though. And thank you for donating. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back to the Hidden Isle, where our agents are trying to find a suspicious person that has been evading them all day, it seems. Right now, our party is split into two. Wonderful. And right now, we are here with Leeskin and Bronwyn, who are at the Lady Luck Gambling House. And Bronwyn has just sat down to someone who seems very joyful. So you sat down at the central gaming table, and again, the dealer hands you your cards, and you and the man sitting next to you begin to play.
I would love to make a finesse check, please.
Oh. Okay, are you trying to get a upper hand in the card game?
I am just trying. Okay, so here's our plan. First couple of hands, looks like she doesn't know what she's doing. Then win a hand that out of nowhere, and then make sure he wins anyway.
I would say you're able to do that just as you are. You don't need to. There's no challenge needed here.
Okay.
So you lose a couple times. He like chuckles and he's like ha ha ha, and you win all of a sudden, and he's like, what's going on? And then the time where you win, or like you make him win anyway, he becomes a little suspicious of you, and he turns.
Dear. What a shame. I guess Lady Luck wasn't on my side today. You know, I never did have much luck with the ladies.
He looks at you dubiously and he's like, it's fine. I'm in good spirits and nothing could really take me away from that.
Enjoying the holiday?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a holiday. I'm currently off the clock, but not much to do. Anyway.
You work in the city?
Yes. I am in charge for I am in charge for the harbor's bronze golem that protects the harbor.
Oh, I see. That sounds like a very impressive role.
Yes, we have to make sure it is in working condition, make sure nothing is compromised, and it's very intense work, and I am in charge of it all.
How long have you been in the job then?
I've been in the job for quite some time, around 5 years now, coming up on 6, and it's just wonderful work for me. And you see him like reach for something on his side, and his eyes go wide, but then he puts his hands back on the table and smiles.
Did you lose anything, dear?
No. No.
I can help you. Look, I enjoy helping people. I've got a little bit of a job helping people around the city, actually.
I also help the city.
Keep me active in my older years.
I can assure you, I haven't lost anything. Can you imagine?
It's okay. We could have this conversation somewhere else if it's a private matter.
I'm telling you, I haven't lost anything. I'm very capable and good at my job.
I wasn't saying you weren't good at your job. You've kept this harbor safe for 6 years now.
I am here to enjoy the holiday, and I haven't lost anything. I would like to continue to game, unless you have something else to say.
Well then, if it's a game you want, it's a game you'll have. If I win, you tell me what you're lying about.
Fine. And he like puts out his hand so you guys shake on it. Just
very gingerly shakes his hand.
And you play. For this will be a challenge, because he's actively trying to avoid saying what it is.
Cool. Could I use a finesse roll? Yes. And I do think that she's going to cheat.
Oh, okay. How many skill points do you have in finesse?
2.
So you draw 3. Would you like to use an ideal or burden?
I think she's cheating because she's resolute that she's going to win, and one of her virtues is that she's resolute. No, sorry, bugger it. Her idea is that she's sharp.
Okay,
Which makes a lot more sense.
that's the ideal.
Yeah.
So you draw 2, but your cards get a +3 to the numbers. This is finesse. This is pentacles. So if you have a pentacles, that automatically wins. And I will also draw cards. Okay. Are
I've
you...
been so lucky this whole game.
Ooh.
No! All right. You can put the rest of your cards in the discard pile. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You absolutely smash this game and, kind of take all of his money as well. And you see him grow a little sad. And he turns to you and he's like, fine. I haven't lost anything. Like I said, I might have misplaced something. I think I have I've misplaced something and I have reason to believe someone might have actually stolen it.
Well, don't worry, love. That's why we're here. We like to help the city. I'm an agent of the school of dysphoria, you see.
Oh. Well, you see, I had a lot of debt due to my habits, and he gestures to the table. And someone had come in earlier.
Splits the money in half and hands the money back. With 1 or 2 extra.
And someone had come in earlier today, and they, they laid the moves on me, and they were so charming and so charismatic, and they ended up paying off all my debt. So I offered to take them on a walk down the harbor, and I told them about the golem and how it protects the city. And now I can't find... I may have misplaced the key that controls the golem.
Does the key have to be operated from the golem itself, or can it be used from afar?
It can only be used for that specific golem. You see, the key is an orrery. An orrery is those planet, all the planets in the it's that entire thing. Yeah. The key itself is an orrery, and it's particular to the bronze colossus itself. I'm pretty sure.
Would they have to take a ship up to it and then use it, or would the ship just
it's on the land? The colossus is on the mainland, but in the harbor area.
Oh, so you place it in, it does the opens up.
Walk around.
Yeah.
I'll just be right back.
No worries. Yeah. Well. Turns to your character, Riley.
just giving up.
I think we have a lot to do, don't you?
Sounds like it. What? I think she would look around and like, what's a golem?
What keeps the barrier up to stop people from leaving the harbour without permission?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that. Right. Oh, that's bad.
I can see the scheme all happening at once, and I really hope that we can stop it. I turn to the man. Did I catch his name?
No, you still haven't asked his name.
She just kind of holds his hands in hers. Well, I want you to know none of this was your fault. It's very easy to get charmed by company. So This matter's in our hands now, and I promise you that nothing will happen. Best of my abilities, I will make sure that the object is retrieved and that no one finds out that you had a moment of weakness. It happens to the worst of us and the best of us. So hold on to your hope and belief in our great city, and I'll be back with the key later.
All right. I will also retrace my steps. Hopefully, I only misplaced it and nothing further.
That sounds like a great idea.
Can I use channel to perform magic to try and find or get a direction towards where the object is? I forgot what the specific kind of magic is called, but where you can sort of sense where an object would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. How many channel points do you have?
2.
So you draw 3 cards. If you'd like to use an ideal or burden, vice virtue, you can either subtract a card or add a card, depending on what you would like to use.
1 second, let me have a look. I could use. Can I use the same thing as I've used before?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You are, so that's never exhausted.
Okay, I will then use my virtue of observant again. So I'll put 1 card back.
Okay.
Draw them in here. Okay.
All right. I have my card ready.
Let me see. Oh, well, doesn't matter.
So
They're
you
both
get
the same.
for the numerical value.
Yeah, they're both the same value, but they would go. Yeah, I'll just pick one. Doesn't really matter which one.
I would say this fails.
Wait, if it's
It's
over
channel.
your.
So
Okay,
channels.
Yeah. It's ones. You've got ones. You're right. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any ones. I literally just keep drawing like pentacle because the other one was a pentacle. I keep drawing pentacles. I have no skills in pentacles. So I'll put this.
Put
No,
your
I have
extra.
ones, but I'm not in this scene, unfortunately.
No.
All right. You are unable to find anything with the magic that you cast. But you guys, you and Bronwyn can continue to investigate, and I'll just head on. We'll shift focus to the coffee house. What are Isabel, Tabitha, and Shika doing after finding out that the maintenance workers have indeed gone to help the head archivist repair any doors that may be open?
I think Shikha is going to try and mingle with the archivists, the other junior archivists, because I think after speaking to Isabel, they're both now kind of zeroing in the head archivist as being shady. So now I think she and maybe Isabel, I think, depending on what Isabel wants to do, I think Shikha is going to try and speak to the archivist, try and get, gossip, work gossip. What is the head archivist like? Have you noticed he's a little sus or something?
Okay, if you ask around about the head archivist, you'll find out that many of the junior archivists have a lot of respect for him, and he's been here for decades at this point. And you only hear praises about him. If you ask specifically about anything strange, one junior archivist does pipe up and say, well, one of our colleagues, he was supposed to be off sick yesterday, but he ended up showing into work. I thought it was off, but I couldn't ask him anything. He seemed like he was in a rush.
What is this colleague's name?
His name is Jacob.
Is he new here? Like, how did you know that he was sick? Did he tell you this, or was he showing some kind of symptoms beforehand at work or somewhere else?
Well, he did request days off, and he was supposed to be off until tomorrow. But made sense if he's sick and today's the holiday. But I saw him yesterday in the archives.
Did he head? Did he? Was he in a rush to somewhere from somewhere?
Don't really know. I was too busy reading my own books.
Do you remember general direction of some sort, or did you just see him like?
I saw him in passing. I just thought it was weird that he was here.
Do you know where this man lives?
Yes. And he gives you directions to Jacob's house.
At that point, having not really been standing there and listening, she's going to head to Tabitha, and the Tabitha will say, "It looks like we're going to need your particular specialism soon. How would you feel about breaking into someone's house?"
I am always for the surprise entering and purposeful relocating of objects within people's homes.
That's a much better way than I could ever have put it myself.
I've learned a lot in the past hour about phrasing, so yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions, or are you headed to Jacob's house?
I have nothing at the moment.
All right. All of you head towards Jacob's house, and you see the lights are on, and you hear a kettle going off and like really bad, horrible coughs like emanating from the house. Like very phlegmy coughs.
Well, he is in there. I think he. He doesn't sound like he has the ability or, frankly, the want to go to the office with that horrible sounding cough. Is that one of the glamours she saw? Do you think?
I can't. Can we see this junior archivist from here, or would we have to actually go inside? Is there a window that say I could go around and peek through?
Yeah, absolutely. If you peek through, you see like a smaller like a shorter archivist, kind of a blanket like hunched around his shoulders. Nose is red, eyes watering, just kind of huddled over the kettle, almost kind of steaming his face while waiting for like the water to boil so he could like make a cup of tea. And the description matches the one that Morella gave you, where it's dark hair and light brown eyes.
Well, before heading back, just going to quickly create a mirage inside of the smell of warm honey to try and put him a bit at ease with his congestion. And then, yes, I can't say this is the person, but certainly was their aspect that the glamour was using. It's probably worthwhile going inside. Shall we two head to the front door, whilst Tabitha, if we're distracting this person, do you think you could find something that he doesn't want us to find?
I have an uncanny knack for finding the hidden inside people's homes. I can probably scope something out. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. Luck on my side.
Thank you. Does that sound like a plan then, Shika?
Sounds good.
Right.
So Isabel, you and Shika go to the front door and knock. And Tabitha, from the window, you see that Jacob leaves his post at the kitchen and goes away. Jacob opens the door, and again he's coughing like very, very horribly, and he's like has a napkin covering his face. He's like, "Yes, what do you need? Hello."
Hello. We're here because we understand that you've had a bit of an accident or an illness at work. And we're here because we think you might be owed some form of compensation. Mm,
Damn it.
Do you have a minute to talk to us about that?
The archives doesn't usually send over any sort of compensation.
We're not here from the archive. So this isn't related to the archives. We are part of a workers' rights groups, and we strongly believe that the fact that you and other people on this island do not receive enough sick pay whilst they are out. We would love to have a chat with you about your experiences to help us in our campaign to improve working conditions across all of Diascoria. And we can offer you payment.
But all the archivists are already paid for any sick days they take.
And are you paid the same amount as you would be if you were working?
Yes.
And why is it that the archives have that when other people don't? Don't you think that's a bit unfair?
Everyone does. The agents, the workers who take care of the columns. Are you new in town?
Yes, there's obviously something going wrong because I don't get that.
I think that is something you should take up with your employer.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, I must get back.
Excuse me, sir.
One second. In this time, I would say, Tabitha, you're able to get into the house. What are you looking for? If you are you just looking for anything that sticks out?
I'm looking for anything that sticks out or resembles anything that we've saw or that we've seen in the restricted section in the archives.
Okay. What skill would you like to use to investigate?
So I have this fun ability called Thieves' Instinct where I have a 4-segment loot clock, and I have a knack for knowing where my target would hide their treasures. When searching for a secret hiding spot, I would find it immediately.
Okay. You're able to find you're able to find this Jacob's desk, and on their desk, like in one of the cupboards, there's like a false bottom, and you find papers in it about like just general research about improving the emergency system in the archives, but nothing about the restricted section in general.
Interesting. Okay. Could I take a few of the pages that he's written and just kind of jam them in my pocket?
Yeah, you can do that.
Cool. And then can I see if there's like anything else that maybe like hints more about like I guess like his role at the archive? Like does he like specialize in anything, or is he just kind of like a general researcher, and is he actually sick?
You see, he does have like a copy of his leave form on his desk, which does give you like the dates of when he's supposed to when he took off and when he's supposed to come back, which you see is like tomorrow is like or today is his last day, and tomorrow he should be back at work. And you also find other papers about improving, like you see other like not affidavits. What's this thing? Minutes of meetings conducted where the archivists were talking about improving the emergency systems and maybe even covering the windows on the ceiling. So
Interesting.
it seems Jacob is in kind of in charge of like improving security around the place, or trying to look for ways to improve security around the place instead of just mechanically. Maybe they could. But you see, like this things of like maybe using magic. Is it reliable? Debates on that. Stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay. Tabitha will take a few of these notes, stuff them in her pocket, and she's going to try to stealthily make her way out of the house back where she came from and try to kind of like peek out of an alleyway and wave over to Shika and Isabel.
Yeah, you're able to do that. And Shika and Isabel, you see that Tabitha is waving you over, and Jacob is still looking expectantly at you, like, is there anything else?
Thank you for your time. You've given us a lot to think about. I hope you get better soon. Would you like some advice? I have an old remedy for helping clear congestion. If that would be helpful, if you don't already have something.
Yes, please. Anything would help right now. I have been bedridden for days.
Take whatever your normal tea is. Add a little bit of alcohol, which will work a little bit of pain relief for your nose, and then put in there a good teaspoon of honey, which will help to actively clear up the back of your nose. And it won't necessarily make it work more quickly, but it will certainly make you more comfortable.
I will try that out. Thank you.
Sir, just a question, just out of my idle curiosity. When did you start feeling these symptoms? Were you by chance caught in the rain or some body of water, or were you around someone who had the same symptoms?
I think it was just a common cold. This probably something I ate. I'm not sure. It's nothing too bad. I'll be fine. And he kind of like waves it off and kind of bids you goodbye and closes the door. And you hear him coughing in the behind his door as well.
Okay, I think it's safe to say that he's not the one who went into the archives.
No, he is not.
Go and see what Tabitha found.
Hi, associates. I have returned from my brief survey of his home. He is most definitely sick. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so I was digging through his room and there was like this desk with like a false bottom, but I found all of these notes, and Tabitha will distribute the notes about the emergency system and the meeting minutes. Looks like he really knows his stuff about emergency systems, so I can see why someone would want to impersonate him. But I saw a leaf form on his desk, so I'm like 99% sure he's like legitimately sick.
So this was a targeted glamour then. It wasn't just find some archivist who's off. They specifically wanted him so they could go and do stuff on the security without if there's any eyebrows. That's slightly concerning.
Do you think he was deliberately made sick in some way? Because if it's a deliberate targeting, you need this man out of the way for the glamour to work.
I think so. Which suggests this is somebody who already had existing knowledge of the archives and its staff.
An inside job?
Inside job.
I'm gonna cut back to Leeskin and Brownwin. I'm gonna say by this point, you've kind of helped this man, whose name no one has still asked. You kind of help this man retrace the steps and trying to look for this, and you can't find it, and he finally kind of admits, like, I think it actually might be lost. This is not good. I need to meet with council member Luane. Or I need to get into the golem. Could you possibly meet council member Luane in my stead and tell him what has happened? I need to make sure everything is okay with the golem.
Well, I was planning on waiting outside of the golem.
Well, I think it would be better.
I think someone has stolen your key.
I agree. I will stand with the golem. After all, it's something I'm most familiar with. If anything happens, if anyone is already inside, I know the Colossus inside and out.
I would like to talk to this person and try and understand why they're doing this.
If you could go to Council Member Luane and ask him if he can deactivate the golems from his side, I think that would be helpful.
Okay, are you sure you'll be okay alone, though?
I'm fine. And he kind of like puts his shoulders back, like puffs out his chest. Like, I think I will be fine. No one can get past me.
You don't have to do this all by yourself, you know. That's why we're here.
I know.
What's the vibe? Is he trying to get
Yeah,
past
I'm also
us?
trying to get a vibe check.
You see that he's genuinely like scared of what might happen to his job if anything goes wrong, especially today.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we
Where
might
would this
get to the
councilman
council.
be?
I'm sorry?
Where would the councilman be?
In the council chambers? In the council? And he like
It's a holiday.
Well, council member Luane rarely takes off. And he kind of points you to like the council building. Yeah, he says you might find him there.
All right. Before we go, what's your name?
My name is Adavis.
Sorry, what?
Adavis.
Oh, Adavis.
Put it in the chat.
I heard something different. There we go.
All right.
Okay. Looks at Burnman. Well, I think we might hurry. It sounds very serious.
What time is it? Is it still currently like daytime, or we're in the afternoon, right?
We're in the afternoon now.
We have the time. We should go and do this. I think.
Yeah, we can go there and see if they can deactivate the thing.
I'm gonna cut back to our coffee house people. Not in the coffee house anymore, but outside of Jacob's house have gathered information that someone might have intentionally made Jacob sick so they could use Jacob's appearance to get into the archives. What is your next course of action? What are you guys doing after discussing this? This theory.
I'm still worried about the head archivist. And I wonder if we can post somebody outside of the sabotaged window, just in case the handyman has been given subpar equipment or has been given instructions to do repairs in a way which could be easily undone. What are your thoughts?
Who would be post? Should it be Tabitha or someone else we can get from the council or somewhere else?
I could pretend to be a tree, or we could bring in somebody else, but I think that I have just got this voice in my head that I might be about to have a vision. So I'm just going to have to sit down before that happens. And I'm going to play my vision card, which is the tower.
The tower. So you you feel the sense of falling, and it's that feeling you usually feel when you sleep and you suddenly wake up. That feeling, and it's continuous, and you kind of fall into this dilapidated building, and you hear someone you know hurriedly like packing or like rustling, some sort of hurried rustling in the corner, and you smell the seaside, and you hear the seagulls that are notorious in the harbor, and all of a sudden it kind of like zooms in into like to like a window which overlooks the harbor, and you see the veil of mist parting, and an armada of ships that have flags of the Ottoman Empire entering Dioscoria, and the vision suddenly zoops out, and you find yourself back with your friends.
Okay, we were totally wrong about this, friends. This is not about the archives, this is about an invasion.
Hmm. Well, that is worse. So they do intend to break that mist. That's why they were looking for that book. They intend to get rid of the mist so it can be visible for warships.
Yes, of the Ottomans.
Well, so that means we have a few things we need to do, and we need to figure them out, and what we need to figure which one is important. Do we catch and interrogate the person who's doing this, or do we try do we let them execute the plan and stop whatever means that, but just cut their means off? Do we stop the plan before it happens, or do we let it happen just so we can find who they're answering to, and then end it there before anyone can get before the invasion can start?
Tabitha, your thoughts?
I think ideally, if we catch the person, we can probably glean more from that than maybe after the fact, because we don't know if they're necessarily going to still be here after this proverbial ship has sailed and they've enacted their plan. So maybe we catch them while they're still on the scene.
That works. That makes sense to me. Shall we try and get to the warehouses? It seems likely that Branwyn will have been trying to steer themselves there. And I feel like it feels like they might be helpful.
Agreed. We are going to need as many of us who can fight, because I feel like we may not just be seeing him. He may not be alone, considering the scale of this plan.
Okay then.
You all head to the abandoned tavern where Morella saw the student duck into. And 1 second. Yes. So the tavern itself was closed down a month ago, and hasn't really been reopened yet. And you enter this tavern, and you see initially like nothing out of the ordinary. You have like a dilapidated bar shelf, some tables turned over, chairs broken down. In one corner of the one of the back rooms, you see there is like bedding that seemed to have been used, and it's there. And but right, it doesn't seem as if the person who stayed there is going to return.
Okay.
There are papers strewn around the bedding and writing on the wall next to it as well.
Shika, what you like books and paper and such? What do you make of this?
Okay. I am going to like go through them and read them. I can use a skill if I need to.
You go through the scattered papers, and it mentions someone named Adavis, and it also has a phrase written in a language that you kind of recognize. It's written in Arabic, and you recognize it as a golem activation phrase.
Oh boy.
Would we know the activation phrases? Is that something that would need to be spoken verbally, or something that would need to be written down and given to the golem?
It's something you would say verbally. After, like, you would use the key and the activation phrase. If you only have one of the two, the golem won't be activated.
Okay. All right. This is an activation phrase for a golem, and I believe one of the people, or possibly someone who is maybe in charge, or at least we have a name, someone named Adavis. Would I? Okay, so because because I do have like some knowledge of, the island's history and something, and I can use a skill to find this out, would I recognize this name?
Yeah, you would know that this is like you know that you know him as a gambler mostly.
This is a he's a gambler. He's a fairly prominent gambler on this island, and he has a golem activation phrase. So, this is a this man is primarily known for card games. He gambles, so I don't. He may be being coerced to do this. May have debts on his head as he needs to do this. He may be in charge of the operation, but considering an invasion would not take away his debts, or maybe they're being paid off by the enemy themselves.
I think Isabel's been a bit quiet and withdrawn at this point, because she does recognize the name, and she recognizes the name as someone who has repeatedly been a mark for her, as someone who she knows she can reliably go to and just get the money off of. And so she's feeling a little bit responsible, a little bit guilty at this point of, well, I'm partly responsible for putting this person into debt. Am I partly responsible for this plan now? Am I culpable, I suppose?
Isabel?
And Hmm.
Are you well?
Yes. Dear, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I zoned out a bit. There.
I believe there are two possibilities for this man's involvement. Considering he is well known to be a gambler, I favor the opinion that he is somebody who is debt is being called in, or he has been entrapped into some nefarious scheme by the people who he owes. I find it unlikely he would be in charge of this operation, considering the enormity of the operation. But I would not discount the possibility by just sheer average.
Okay. Confession time. I do know him. I would go one step further. I think he's, if anything, is complicit through ignorance. I highly doubt he's actively involved.
I see. So do so he seems to have gathered all this information. Do you think that this is the limit of what he knows? Do you think could we press on him to maybe give us the name or details of the person he's meant to answer to?
I think that this isn't a Davis. I think this is what they've got from a Davis. I think they were targeting a Davis like they targeted Jacob.
At this point, you hear a large crash in the harbor. Leeskin and Bronwyn, you guys in this meantime have gone to the council chamber and found someone to direct you to council member Luane. And they take you to his office, and you knock. They knock before letting you inside. And 1 second. Inside is a man, tall, very thin, sat at his desk with some glasses that are balancing on the very edge of his nose, fervently writing in a book. He looks up and he says, "Yes, agents, what is it do you need?"
And don't panic. There is a small scheme in which to lower the protection supplied by the golem.
He immediately stands up and says, "I'm sorry, please explain yourself, and quickly, I do not have all day today."
I don't want to overstep. If you want to explain it.
Davis, I don't has lost the key. It seems, or it might be stolen. I think it was stolen.
There's a little bit more that needs explained. Okay, we were sent. We were sent to the harbour this morning. You've done a very good job, but there is a lot more context required to understand the full scheme. This morning, we were sent to the Copper Queen, who had seen a mysterious person down by the docks over the last few days using a glamour to change their appearance constantly. In investigating that strange set of appearances, we discovered that someone had been into the restricted center of the archives and had tampered with the security system, suggesting that they had maybe attempted or were going to attempt a heist this evening or have completed a heist in the past. We then went to the gambler's den, where we met a Davis who had lost their key, but had mentioned they'd been charmed by a very attractive young person the night before, and that's when they noticed that the key was stolen. I believe that somebody was planning to steal something from the archive and make their escape by using a Davis's key. He asked us here today to ask you to deactivate the controls of the golem so the shield stays up. Is that a thing that you can do?
You see Luane put his head in his hands and like kind of massage his temple and say, I swear to gods I'm going to fire a Davis after this. I cannot do it.
We all have moments of weakness. I think it's okay to move on and forgive. It will never happen again.
Absolutely not. The man has no compulsion control. I cannot control the golems. That is out of my reach. But if anything happens to that, there are multiple other golems in the city. There's one under the harbor, the coral golem, and there's smaller golems around the city that we can activate. But there is nothing that I can do from here.
But we needed to know about the backup golems to activate them ahead of anything possibly going wrong.
Right. Yes, I will get on that. And you see he opens like a shelf and like pulls out a drawer and takes out like a couple like orreries and this big other ornate orrery and calls someone from outside to like go like and like gives out the orrery so that in case anything happens they can get activated to stop the big bronze golem. He looks at you and says, in any case, if the golem is, activated by someone, unless it is manually being controlled, it will fall back on its programming and stay in place. So hopefully they don't know how to control the golem. Hopefully they don't have the activation phrase.
Would the information about that be in the archive?
About the golems?
Yes.
Some of them, yes. There probably is information about it. Why do you ask?
If someone had the activation phase, they wouldn't need to take it out of the golem manually, would they? It's out of the archive manually.
Golem activation phrases are only known by the person who is in charge of that golem, in this case, a Davis. Now, I refuse to believe a Davis is daft enough to give random people the activation phrase.
No, he might. I managed to convince him to stop lying by beating him at a card game.
Oh, gods.
Maybe if this
At that
person that stole from him, maybe if they use magic to charm him or read his thoughts.
Again, I don't know. At this point, I don't know how much trust I can put in a Davis. And at the same point, you also hear the same crash. And Luane kind of, his eyes widen and he, heads outside to a window. And all of you see, and at this point, even Tabitha, Isabel, and Shika, you all see that the bronze colossus is moving towards the arc.
I don't think my shield's going to be big enough.
I don't think I have enough magic for that either.
So the golem is physically moving like it's a giant.
Yeah, it is moving towards the arc.
So I still have the activation phrase in my hand, like what he wrote down. Can I use it to get it to like shut it down, or is it just like a once off?
So to shut it down, you'll need to for shutting it down, it's just the key.
Okay.
So the activation phrase is just an activation phrase. It does not deactivate if you shout the activation phrase.
Okay. So we didn't get the key, right?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. We need to find Adavis. Like, we need to find him now, and we need to get the
So-
damn key.
So, just so I can get this all clear in my head, the golem is now moving towards the archive and not the mist wall.
No, it's moving towards the archives.
Shika, is there anything in the archive other than books?
Wait. I don't think there's anything other than books, right, in the archive, or is there something that Shikha would know? Is there something else that the golem would? Because this is a really big guy for just stealing books.
You guys outside hear like smashing of houses, buildings, as the golem like trudges through everyone and everything as it heads towards the archives. Alarms start blaring as the island goes into evacuation precautions, and the archive also starts to enter some sort of a lockdown.
Maybe it's not trying to.
Uh,
Maybe it's not trying to steal the books. Maybe it's trying to make a path for people to steal the books.
I'm starting a clock for you guys.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Vanwen, like just starts dashing towards the golem.
Yeah, I follow.
Isabel, okay, so the lockdown procedures have are already in the archives. Do we think that clearly seems to be part of the plan? Should we head to the window and see if there's someone who's going to try and escape? This may just be a big distraction of some sort.
Yes, we can deal with displaced people later. Tabitha, do you have strong feelings? Do you want to come with us? Do you want to help the displaced? I'll leave it up to you.
I mean, it's always been a secret dream of mine to see if metal eating acid works on golems, and this may be the one chance where I can actually find that out without being caught, so I guess count me in.
Yes. Eat the golem.
Question: what's the material that this golem is made of?
Bronze.
Okay. So I think we're headed towards the archive following the golem then, if I understood all of that correctly.
All right. You head towards the archives, and you see that the golem is way ahead of you, and at this point has stopped and is just stood in place. When you reach the archive main gates, because those are the only gates that will be open, you hear the alarms just go off for the archive then, and all the as you enter, you hear the slabs all fall down to close the doors, and you rush inside.
Wait, one more question while going up to that. How tall is this golem?
Oh, it's tall, like 50 feet.
Okay, cool. Can I, as we're sort of Roman and I are running towards that way, can I use an ability to manipulate the weather? I will take 1 harm to cause a lightning storm.
Okay, yeah, it is storming now.
Cool. Try and hope that it will hit the fucking thing. Considering it's made of bronze and it's tall.
So the golem is stood outside of the archive. So
Yes.
if I've dashed towards the golem, I'm in the same place.
Yes.
do I see everyone?
Yeah, everyone at this point is at the archives.
Great. Pulls out the shield just in case. And I would like to use my ability
Okay.
to make a stirring speech,
All right.
which gives everyone who can hear it a fortune card.
Ooh. So that's an
I know we've had our differences, but right now we're the only 5 people with the information to stop this from happening, and from our town and from our city and Secret Isle remaining safe. I will forgive your past transgressions if we can gather together and use the skills that you have from your various experiences and positions in life to come together to save as many as we can and to prevent whatever horrible outcome may have come from this. You do not have to agree with me. You do not have to like me. All I need you to do is do what you do best. That's about it. We're on a time limit. We've got 45 minutes left. I should have gone 5.
So everyone can take a card from the Pips deck as your extra fortune card.
Okay, that's actually useful.
Is there only one entrance to the golem?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to stand in front of the entrance to the golem with my shield.
Okay. You're not going in with the rest of them?
No.
Okay.
Just in case.
You, is everyone still outside the archives?
I think Isabel and I and Tabitha maybe have headed towards the windows, like where the window leads to, like not inside where the window is, the outside of where that big window will open to, just to see if anyone is using this as a distraction to steal something.
So you're surveilling the outside?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't see anything right now.
In that case, I think I would. Before you'd said that there was a way to get into the golem that Branwyn was standing guard at. I think I would start to head towards that to try and get inside, because I think if they can see Branwyn after that big speech standing guard there, it must be important.
Branwyn give everyone the speech. All of you
Yes.
heard, right?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
So you're staying with Branwyn.
Going past Branwyn into the golem, because that's what it sounded like she was aiming for us to do.
So you try to get into the golem, and you
Okay.
notice that you can't without a
Okay.
key.
Okay.
That's why I was standing here, because whoever's piloted it here is going to have to come back.
Yes, I understand that now. Thank you, Branwyn.
She kicks out
Advice?
the expandable shield, and a little pair of legs drop out from the bottom of it, and it becomes like a little tea table. And she just gets a little bit of tea and puts it like there's got like a mug, and just kind of sits next to the table and is waiting for the person who's doing all this to come back.
Mm.
So Branwyn and Isabel are at the golem. Right?
Yep.
All right. What is everyone else doing?
I think I'm going to ask Tabitha this. If Tabitha wants to do this, I think Shika is going to want to head inside the archive just to see what the situation in there is. Like, she knows everyone else has got things handled there. What she wants to do and see is if there's anyone in the archive that's suspicious or someone. Essentially, she's looking for something human, someone not the head archivist or maybe the head archivist, depending on how Sassy's being. She wants to go in and see like what the situation in the archive is and see if she can maybe get some good grace back, or even just see if any of the restricted section has been ransacked.
I think
So-
Tabitha. Oh,
Sorry, go
sorry. I think Tabitha would join Shika, but before she does, she wants to take a quick cursory scan of the golem and try to figure out, like, what does that key mechanism look like?
It seems to be something where you place an orrery, like something that has a bunch of like little objects in concentric circles, kind of like put it into the door, and that would like kind of fit in perfectly.
Okay. In her varied experience as a purposeful relocator of objects and occasional surprise visitor at homes, would Tabitha get the sense that this is something that she can manipulate using a lockpick?
No.
Okay. Cool, cool. Good to know. In which case, Tabitha will head into the archive with Shika.
All right. What is Leeskin doing?
Well, I just realized I could potentially do something, but I do have a question. So when I take harm for something, it doesn't say where it goes.
Oh, what did you want to take harm for? You can put it anywhere. Specify. You can put it in whichever suit you would like.
Well, I have the ability to briefly go into the spirit world, and if I then go to a sold object, I take harm. I could just go into the golem once I'm done. If that's possible. So that would take a 1 harm for that. I'll put that somewhere. But yeah, I think these can sort of like.
You can put in your pentacle suit because there's nothing that would.
Yes, true. So this sort of looks like kind of like between Bronwyn and Isabel and Tabitha and Shika, and like sort of confused like what to do, and then has a moment of clarity and goes, I'll be right back. And sort of like you see her sort of, she's not invisible, but she becomes like kind of translucent and starts moving like into the golem. Try and maybe shut it down from in there.
Okay, yeah, you're able to get into the golem very easily.
Cool.
Shika, as you and Tabitha go inside the archives, you hear the head archivist shouting, and some sort of commotion going on at the other end of the archives. And as you head over there, you see the head archivist being pushed over by this man with a handful of books in his arms, and he, sees the two of you and makes a run for the back doors.
Okay, can I take out my pistol and shoot him in the shoulder? Or has he already run past me?
1 second. Yeah, you can try to shoot at him. Yes.
Yeah, I do have a skill like attached to this. I have skirmish, which is sword and gunfight.
Yeah. One moment. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say you shoot at him, and as you shoot at him and the bullet nears him, you see something go awry with the bullet, and it hits him, but it kind of just bounces off of him. And you see the guy kind of like keel over before like regaining his balance and making way for the door.
I'm going to give chase. If
Okay.
the pistol did not work, I have a bunch of abilities that I am going to use against him.
All right. Um. Okay. Leeskin, what are you doing inside the golem?
Trying to search for a way to turn it off, or to at least like control it in some way.
So you get to the top and you see that the golem has kind of gone back on its has fallen back on its general programming, which right now like the golem itself is inactive.
Can I guess, turn it on to walk it back to where it came from, so it's no longer here?
So you don't see a key in it.
Do I need a key to operate this thing?
Yeah,
as well?
the orrery isn't there.
Useless. Can I maybe, I don't know if this is a bad idea. Instead, can I try and break it? Is there like any I don't know how advanced this thing is. Like any cables I can just like with my I have a little blade I can just cut or something like that. It doesn't
Right
work.
now it's inactive. It's you cannot make it work. The only thing that could make it work is the key and the activation phrase. The key isn't here. The activation phrase, you have no idea what that is.
Oh no, I meant more just like, can I break it so it just doesn't work anymore? Like if anyone wants to
inactive
try and
It's not working right now. It's not gonna move.
No,
It
I
is-
meant more just permanently. So like if anyone were from the outside to try and turn it on, it just destroyed. Like it doesn't do anything. It's just broken. That's what I'm trying to figure out. If there's like, I don't know how advanced, like if there's like any cables I can just cut and like make sure it doesn't.
There's nothing like that that you can do because this doesn't run on any cables or
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to think. Yeah. Okay.
Inside the archives, Shika and Tabitha, you see the man go out the back door, and like pushes one of the handymen away from the door and makes out.
Can I use one of my abilities? So Tabitha is giving chase right now. I want to use one of my abilities called Wisp, where I have the ability to disappear in a wreath of smoke and teleport through a wall, ceiling, or floor. I would like to, if I can, cover myself in smoke and appear maybe like at a wall adjacent to the back door and hopefully tackle this man down.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, you could do that.
Cool.
I'm gonna say you're able to transport yourself outside the door, and you try to tackle you try to tackle this man, and you successfully do, but he turns into smoke before your eyes, and you hear laughter behind you as you see this man running down the hill, books in hand.
Do we see him run out?
I would say you can see someone running down the hill, not towards the golem though. It's away. It's more towards the harbor. The man doesn't seem to have any intention of going near the golem.
Yeah, I think I have Callum figured out what the whole thing is, but I do not have all the information as Branwyn. But seeing the man run, how slopey is this hill?
It's not that slopey. It's a hill. Just a nice smooth rundown.
Great. I'm gonna kick my shield to the ground, and I'm going to ride the shield after him down the hill.
I'm sorry, I'm
going to get on my shield, and I'm gonna follow him down the hill
Okay, yeah, you're able
on
to
my
follow
shield.
down the hill.
I want to try and bash into him with my shield as I go down the hill.
I want. Okay.
I have finesse or skirmish, whichever you want.
You ride down this hill, and all of a sudden, your shield starts becoming softer, almost jelly-like, and it kind of like slows to a stop. And you see the man running, look back, and again, he kind of like trips over himself and like rolls for a bit before like getting to the bottom of the hill, and then he picks himself back up and starts running again. Your shield is straight up liquid. At
And
this
I'm just going to chase after him.
Same. I'm just going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let Branwyn cover for me because I'm shorter than Branwyn. So I'm going to let Branwyn be the obvious like person running, and I'm going to be trying to flank him, just so at least I can get the books off of him. If not, get this guy. Or I just need him to not expect me to do what I need to do.
You
I would. Oh,
go for it.
I was going to say, to assist with this, I would like to take a spiritual harm to create the illusion of a wall which can be both seen and felt, in order to attempt to drive this person towards towards Sishka. So that's if say Sishka is on. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Your character's name. Sorry, it's going out of my head. Is it Sishka?
Shika?
Shika. Thank you.
Also, we lost our GM.
So but she.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
right.
our GM
Okay.
is gone.
We win! Been decided.
We won. It's fine. The narrator has left.
Oh, this other iPad has died.
Oh,
Oh,
So,
that's.
That no isn't a no that we didn't win. It's just a disappointment that the DM didn't manage to do it, you know? Ignore that no.
So we decided a couple of games ago that if the DM is unavailable, whatever you were trying to do succeeds automatically. You win, and you get a bunch of extra points or cards or whatever you need. So that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
that was easier than I thought. That was so much easier than I thought.
there we go.
Absolutely
Hello.
not. Absolutely not. All right. Yeah, Isabel, you you create the illusion of this. I need you to. I want to challenge this for you.
Okay.
How many points do you have in channel, or draw that many? Any ideals, burdens, add or subtract.
I have
and
2
pick your
points.
card. So you have 2 points. You draw 3.
And I will use the burden of manipulative, because trying to force someone to do something they're not wanting to do. So that would be an addition. There's not enough cards in the Pips deck at present. There's only 2 cards in the Pips deck.
1 sec. I'll
Thank you.
recall and shuffle. Okay, take your cards.
Thank you. 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, you can take those into your hand.
Okay. So let's see, it's ones, isn't it? So I will play the Ace of Wands in that challenge.
All right. I'm going to play the Eight of Wands. So you manage to get this illusion of a wall up, and you see the man who's running, who's much ahead, stop for a second, touch the wall, and look back for a second, and then he touches the wall again, and the wall is no longer there. And he giggles as he runs forward.
As he's doing that, because like I've been trying to flank him, is it possible for me, as he's trying to do that, I throw my knife, my dagger at his specifically on his thigh, like where I can slice an artery or some kind.
Okay, I would like you to make a finesse check.
Yes. Finesse, I have 3, so that's good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have forgotten what the finesse is. Finesse is under pentacles. Okay,
Why are you putting them in the discard pile?
I'm not putting them in the
Sorry,
discard
no.
pile.
But that's
That was me. Sorry, they were still in my hand from last time. I forgot to put them in the discard pile before.
okay. No worries.
Okay.
Okay, play your card, Shika.
Okay, let's see.
You throw your dagger towards the man, and you see it kind of nicks the stone ground and kind of bounces off towards the side and completely misses him. The rain.
Whose card was the Pentacles card? Was that your card, Agent P? The Pentacles. Can I play one of my fortune cards?
I would say at this point, no. If you wanted to play it, it would have been a bit before.
Okay, sorry.
So I can't play. So I can't play my last fortune card that I have.
As of now, no.
Okay.
You see, yeah. So the attack kind of misses, and he continues to run to the harbor.
I'm going to keep chasing this bugger until I get him.
Okay, yeah. All of you are chasing. I mean, I think Lee's still in the golem.
I think after. Sorry.
Go ahead, Leeskin.
I think after a little bit, like after like being there and realizing, oh, I need a key and nothing here, I can't change anything. This would have been very quick. She would have got in, looked around, trying to think, okay, nothing I can do. I can't break it. Okay, and gone back out, and then gone after. It probably be behind everyone, but like we'll try and give chase and try and get after. Like going out, seeing everyone's gone, seeing them in a distance, like run and like and just go and quickly go after them.
Okay, everyone's running. All right. Bronwyn, yes.
Can I try one last thing?
Yes.
Because I think I know where this is all going. Okay. I think Branwyn has kind of figured out some of it, but not all of it. The key is probably on this person.
Yes.
I would like to attempt to channel magic, not to prevent them from getting anywhere, but just to try and get the key back.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Magic.
Yeah, I've only got 1, so I'll draw 2. Do any of my burdens help me here? No. We'll just take the risk on the 2 cards.
Okay. So that's channel, so that's wands. Play your card.
Yeah, okay. We buggered it.
Can I play one of my fortune cards to help with this, please?
Yeah, okay, if you want to boost it for a complete
Oh, right. I would play the 5 of wands,
Oh,
which would be a trump.
yeah. Absolutely. You cast a spell over the man who's running in front of you, and you are looking specifically for the key to like get it off this person, and you're able to. You see this floating orrery kind of detach and like stay in place as he continues to run. Doesn't really seem to even clock that this happened, and he continues down the harbor, down to the harbor, and is getting closer. As you run and catch up, you manage to grab the orrery midair and run after him.
I think once I've got the Ori, I run back to the golem.
Okay, you can run back to him, to the golem.
I think Branwyn. So Branwyn's logic is whatever this person's up to required the golem out of the way, and that's what they've done perfectly. Is got the golem out of the way, and then we wasted all of our time chasing them. So now is trying to recover the fact that we've buggered this up massively, and is trying to get the golem back in position. So I think she's just out of action for the rest of whatever happens now, because she's too busy trying to fix the golem problem.
All right. What is anyone else? Anyone else want to try something before this man gets to the harbor?
I don't have channel as a skill, but can I do it anyway?
I was gonna also do some sort of magic. So
what would you like to do?
One of my magical sources is demon. Is from demons, and another one is floods.
Okay.
So, can I use my magical source? Can I summon up a flood? Can I summon up the water enough? Or no, you know what? I think I don't think. No, wait. He's going towards the harbor, right? Water would be best. I'm going to try and drown this guy now.
Okay. Take a card for channel.
That would be from the Pip's deck, right? Okay. Oh boy, those are a lot of cards.
You're trying to flood without any skill points. All right, play your card. Okay. So you see that the storm that Leeskin brought about has already raised the tides in the harbor, and you're able to flood the harbor. Not enough to drown the person running, but you're able to slow him down because the water level has risen and he's trying to run through water, which is incredibly hard.
Okay. Okay, then. Okay, can I? I don't. I think I should have more daggers, right? I would have more blades, maybe. Do I?
Was the dagger from your inventory?
Yeah.
It was just the one?
Yeah, I think so. That's what it says on my cheat sheet, on my sheet. A blade or two. Oh no, a blade or two. So I would have to.
You have one more.
Yeah. Now, if it slowed him down, it means I can aim more precisely. We're using my finesse skill, and I'm going to take out an artery that he had. Like I'm going to make him fall one way or the other.
Okay. Take cards for finesse.
1, 2.
Take one more. It's skill points +1.
Oh yes. Okay.
Oh shit.
Finesse is
finesse.
Okay, so remind me. Like I'm supposed to the cards I get, I add the number thing, right?
You don't add anything. You didn't use any ideals or burdens this time.
Oh yeah, of course.
So play your card, and after that, if you want to use your fortune card, or if anyone else wants to use their fortune card, then is the time.
Okay, and remind me on the card that I use according to what I have skill in or what the category of finesse is in. Just I want to try and get this right.
If you play a Pentacles card, it is like the trump suit, so you would automatically win.
Not sure which one.
Pentacles are ones that have like the coins with the stars on them.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. I'm going to go for something that's best.
If anyone wants to play a fortune card, now would be the time.
Yes, I will. I will use my pentacle cards finally.
Hey.
So I'll just use. No, wait. Sorry. This one. Pentacles.
Yes, you're able to nick him at his foot, and yeah, he stumbles considerably, and you're able to close the distance, but he's still a little bit ahead of you.
Okay.
Can I, to assist, use my magic to try and make this person's legs feel very heavy so it doesn't go as fast? Can I use channel?
Okay.
Alright, so that would be 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. There you go.
You
It's a
automatically.
trump card. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you see him like slow down considerably, and he looks around like what's happening. And
Okay.
catch up.
Yeah. Okay. So right then, I am going to close the distance and use my ability of Heartstopper to press on his pressure points, and essentially like Heartstopper, secret pressure point techniques, perform them on an unsuspecting target and they will drop dead after taking a number of steps that you decide. I'm going to so I am going to use the Heartstopper to close in on him and perform the and like press on his pressure points, that if he takes 3 more steps, he will drop dead.
He doesn't. You do that, and you come back from like pushing his pressure points, and seeing that he's surrounded, he doesn't seem to be. He's like, oh, he's kind of like, okay, you got me, kind of this thing. He doesn't seem to be wanting to move.
Hi. I'm an agent of Dioscoria. Could you please tell me, could you please inform me of the reason for your crime?
The outside world also deserves magic, not just you. And I managed to evade you guys for days.
Would you like to take 3 more steps to see how many more days you'll survive?
I don't care. As long as the information goes outside, I am happy. And you see that the books in his hands aren't books from the archive. And you kind of look up and you notice a ship leaving the harbor. And that's where I'm going to end the session. You hear from the council that the next day you hear from the council, after inventory has been taken, that scrolls were stolen. This person has, like, you guys take him into custody. From a divination by council members, they tell you that the scrolls are on their way to Istanbul and dispatch you, on a ship to there to try and retrieve them. And yeah.
Well.
Oh boy.
You got bamboozled.
So the magician was an illusionist himself and kind of used up his slots to trick you guys into thinking the books were still with him.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice.
I think,
glad.
This was fun.
not having the vision about the invading fleet made my decisions really different. Does that make sense? Because like it took a lot for my character to go, something's up. You need to like stop chasing this guy. Yeah, it was really this is great.
It's a nice system.
Thank you. It's really fun. I love playing with tarot cards. And clocks
Very much for running,
kind of
Agent
help
Payne.
in determining what exactly happens in a situation if you guys take too long to act. I hope everyone had fun. We should be transitioning to the next game soon, so let's start with Abhilasha and saying goodbye.
I've been I've been Shikha. You can find me on Twitter at Dr_Wyborn, and I'm playing in a bunch of games. In fact, I'm going to be playing in another 5 or 6 hours. Hopefully, once I've had some food, I'm going to be playing with Girls Run These Worlds. We're playing Unlost Unearthed, which is based on the Heart System by Grant Howitt. Please join me for the second episode. I'm already 1 murder down. Let's see how many more murders I can do. And after that, I think I also will be playing Moonlight on Roswell Beach with Queer XP from next week onwards. Not entirely sure when, but that should happen. I also have I also wrote a thing for a TTRPG. I wrote for Daylight Productions. I contributed to the book Starforge. It was great. I created a bunch of classes and like a whole like world. So please do go and check that on Drive-Thru RPG. I would really appreciate the proceeds. Just generally. I also have a bunch of other things that I'm really excited, but I'm waiting for that to officially like be on the way before I can announce. I know I will give a hint. One of them is another TTRPG book I have worked on. A lot of work I did. So.
Nice. Oh, awesome. Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna or Riley, whichever one you prefer. I use they them pronouns, and I'm definitely human. You can find me literally anywhere at Peculiar Planets. I'm on pretty much every social media. On Thursdays, I am playing Vampire the Masquerade over at the Misadventures League at 8 p.m. Central European Time. And I'm going to be in more games soon-ish, so I will just, like, if you like that stuff, just follow my socials. I also write TTRPGs and comics. I'm currently working on Mythcraft, which is a system that is also nominated for the Crit Awards. So if you want to check that out and vote for them, that would be appreciated.
Amazing. Awesome. Callum.
Hello, I've been Callum and will continue to be so. You just won't see me anymore unless you find me on social media at FearToCallum. I'm on Twitter and Instagram mostly. I am meant to be running a Power Ranger game at some point that I have cast, but then I got a job, so my life kind of went out the window. But it's on its way.
That's
I just
one
need
of the
to
things.
sit down and do it. That's one of the things. It's on its way. You'll hear about it in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm sorting it. I'm also, if you happen to be watching this and you live in North Wales, I'm currently assistant directing a show in Mould, which will be at Theatre Clwyd on the 23rd of July. It's called How to Feed a Town. We're in the middle of rehearsals right now, and it's looking really interesting and really exciting. But yeah, if you want more information, I posted it all on my Twitter before I did this morning. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Sid.
Oh gosh, I didn't know I was going to do this part. Hi, I am, always have been, and forever will be Sid. I go by she, her pronouns. This is my first AP ever, so thank you all for being here and witnessing that. You are all very welcoming. And oh gosh, golly, I was nervous, but I feel a lot better now. Hoo-wee. Okay. I guess follow me on Blue Sky at Machai Auto, but also I help out with graphics over at Roll for Good, which is a nerdy collective of Europe-based folks streaming TTRPGs for charity, similar to this one. And thank you for witnessing all of that chaos. Yay!
Yay! Kieran!
Hello, I'm Kieran. I use they, them pronouns. I have another actual play thing coming up in August, which I can't say much about right now, but it's an exciting thing. So if you want to find out about that when I am able to talk about it, then you can follow me over on Blue Sky at Kieran-Hingston. And that's about it for me.
Awesome. Hello everyone, I'm HMP. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me on Instagram at the.agent.p or on Twitter at @thehmp_. Follow me for shenanigans or information about interesting games that I run, because I love playing and running non-D&D system games. I'll be running games off stream, but on the Daisies and Dragons server for our gaming weekend, which is everything but the kitchen sink, which is everything but D&D. So if you're interested, join the server, join the games. They're all super fun. Again, big thank you to Steve for having us on, and thank you to everyone who donated. Please continue to donate. It's for a wonderful cause, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hello, hi. Just wanted to say thank you to all of you for doing this. This means a lot. We did good shit for a good cause. Plus, also, it was a fun game, so that was exciting. Yeah, I didn't know this was your first AP, Sid. That's really cool, and I'm really glad that it was here at Pantsless Tables. So, what I've been doing for the last 24 hours now is at the end of every game, I do like a small announcement, because I had like milestones set up for every $100 to make announcements, and I've run out of milestones now, so because we're at over $1,000. But anyway, I'm just going to do a quick recap, because why not? So August, we're doing an AP starring Agent P, which is a Passion de las Pasiones 9-episode miniseries. Well, it's not a miniseries, it's a 9-episode series, which is really cool. In end of July, Callum is doing a Masks AP, which is really cool. So two people doing things from this game, which is fantastic. We have a D&D 5e campaign starting also in July. It's going to be alternating with Callum's Masks game every Friday, which Anna is a part of, which is really cool. So we go from level 1 all the way to level 20. I'm going to be playing in that as well. I'm playing a Divine Soul Sorcerer. And the new announcement is Sundays in August, we are running a 4-episode Bludgeon mini-series, which Bludgeon is an Indian-based TTRPG created by an Indian developer, and it's a D20 system, but it's a lot of Indian vibes, which is really cool. And so casting calls for all of this stuff is going to open up soon, sometime second week July, because I'm going to need a week to recover from this shit. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. You are all fantastic. I really appreciate you donating your time and your energy to make this a fantastic game. And yeah, I think I'm going to let you go. Feel free to use the room to decompress, do whatever you need to do, vibes. Yeah, okay. I shall bounce. I shall let you go. And yeah.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye, Street.
Bye, Steve.